Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's College Planning Tip of the Week. As always, I'm Jack Wang, creator of the Smart College Buyer program. And with me, as always, is Nancy Steenson of Steenson College Coaching. This week, we have a great special guest, my friend Mark Salisbury of TuitionFit. TuitionFit's a service where parents can and their students can actually compare their award letters against other award letters issued by that same school so they can see if they got a fair or good offer from that school. So, Mark, thanks so much for being with us this week. So, the key question I have for you today is, this time of year, right? Families are getting their war letters, right? They should have heard if their son or daughter's gotten in, but they're getting their war letters with all these different things on it, right? Whether it's loans, grants, or any other items. They can be so confusing to figure out what's actually what and whether or not families actually got a quote unquote good deal. So, Mark, what are some good things, good questions for families to ask? And what are some of the things that they can look for so families can figure out exactly what price they're going to pay?
Yeah, thanks, Jack. There's a lot of crazy stuff in the award letters that really does drive families nuts and creates a lot of anxiety. A couple of things to, first of all, there are as many different templates out there for these financial aid offer letters as there are schools. And so families should just expect that they'll see lots of different templates, but they can, with a couple of different points, really dive in and I think solve a lot of the confusion. The first thing is try to separate out as you look at the financial aid offer letter, try to separate out what's a loan and what's a grant or scholarship. What's money you don't have to pay back and money you have to pay back. Because these are two things that oftentimes get all put together into one column called awards or aid or something that looks like it's all cobbled together. And then it's all added up at the bottom to be one number that looks phenomenal. And it's really easy to miss the fact that a bunch of that money in there is not free money at all. It's money you're going to have to pay back. So, first of all, try to separate out. So, obviously, if you see the word loan, that's one way to do it. You might see words like, even old words like Stafford or something else, but every once in a while you'll see LN and you won't see the word loan spelled out. But it's really valuable to just take some time first to split out the money that's the free money, the money that you're going to have to pay back. The second thing is amongst the loan money, it's pretty common for colleges to weave into that pile of cash loans that the student automatically would qualify for, and then loans that are not automatic. And the big one is what's called the Parent Plus loan. And it's very typical for a college to add that to the list of loans that a student can get to then make that award look really big. But you have to qualify for a plus loan. And it's a loan that the parent takes out. And the interest rate isn't close to what the unsubsidized federal loan is. So it's really important, even amongst the loans, to differentiate which ones are which and understand that even in that category, there's stuff in there that's not quite so real as you might think. The last thing is that there's always work study, or not always, but a lot of times you'll see work study woven into the aid. Work study is not a guarantee at all. There's more students that qualify for work study at institutions than there is work study money that the institution gets from the government every year. And the challenge for many students is even when there is a work study job, it might conflict with the classes that they need to take to stay on track to graduate in 4 years. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I think that trading off an extra year of tuition for a couple $1,000s in work study, not a good trade. So that work study money woven in there doesn't necessarily mean, first of all, that you'll get it, and two, that it's even worth taking, because graduating in 4 years is a way better move than taking an extra work study job.
So that's very interesting. Mark, I have a follow-up question, if I may. Should a parent and student also be concerned about whether the award letter, the award will be honored for 4 years? Or should there be a concern that that's great the first year, but not knowing what might happen the subsequent 3 years?
That is a really good question. And this is something that families miss regularly. A lot of colleges and universities have gotten into a practice of what they call front loading. Actually, they don't call it front loading, but we do. And it is the notion that we're going to give students an extra scholarship or 2 or 5 in that first year to make that price that's going to show up on your bill look even more attractive. And then those scholarships go away. And there's scholarships that are related to, look, if you declare a certain major, we'll give you an extra $500. From that to, hey, you got accepted, we sent you a t-shirt, put it on, take a picture of yourself, put it on Instagram, we'll give you another $500. There's all these kinds of little scholarships in there, and sometimes they can add up to thousands of dollars. The other thing to keep in mind is that there are some institutions, particularly CSS profile institutions, that will recalibrate what they think your need is every year. And it is not uncommon for a family to have some change in their tax returns from 2 years ago, and then that family's price tag jumps significantly between first year and second year as they resubmit the FAFSA, and that's a surprise. And the family needs to know that that's a possibility with any institution that they're considering.
This is fascinating. So are you suggesting that parents and students should actually contact the financial aid office of the institution they're hoping to attend to ask if this award will automatically continue for 4 years? Do you feel that the universities would be transparent about that if they ask the question?
I think it is absolutely critical that every single family with every school they're considering that they've got a financial aid offer from, that they build a relationship with somebody in that financial aid office from the day that letter shows up. And that first call absolutely should be, hi, I'm just trying to make sure I understand this document. Help me walk me through this and make sure I understand, is this a scholarship that lasts for 4 years? If it does, great. If it doesn't, let me know that. If there are criteria that would make it sort of hard to keep it going for 4 years. There's some scholarships where to renew that scholarship, it's like a 3, 8, 9 in college your first year. Great, but that's a lot of pressure, right? So really build a relationship with that financial aid office that starts with, just help me understand this letter so that I can make a more informed decision. And as a family builds that relationship, if you treat that conversation professionally as you should, you're now also building up a trust level and a sort of credibility so that down the road, if you decide to ask for more money, if you decide to make an appeal, if you decide to do any other things that would ask them to reassess something that relates to your price, you have a relationship with somebody and they think well of you.
Mark, that is such great information. Thank you so much for sharing this, with the students and parents who'll be watching this. I know they're going to learn a lot just from hearing this brief episode today. So thanks so much for joining us. And thank you everyone for listening today to College Planning Tip of the Week. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.